All right, and we are live. So welcome to another episode of AI Marketing for Remodelers and Builders. If you don't know us, this is Spencer. He is the CEO and founder of Builder Funnel, and I'm Kai. I'm our lead consultant. Everything AI strategy. I'm your guy. Spencer, we got a really fun episode today, and you'd be proud of me. I prepped a lot for this one. We're going to be talking all about custom GPTs. So if you listen to this episode or watch this episode, if you don't know, we're starting to post these episodes on YouTube. It's a little bit easier to answer your questions, interact with you. So if you want to switch over to YouTube or keep listening to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever you want to do, but there's a video version now. But if you watch or listen to this episode, you will learn what a custom GPT is, how to build one, and the best custom GPTs every modeler and builder should be using. So without further ado, Spencer, is it ado? Further ado? Ado? I don't know.
Ado, yeah. Further ado.
Let's just talk about like what a custom GPT is. And I probably asked you this question before, but do you feel like you utilize custom GPTs a lot? I feel like when we talked about in the last ChatGPT episode, you mentioned that like you feel like you could use them more. Has that changed at all? What are you feeling with those?
Yeah, I I still feel like I'm in the same spot. I could use them more. I know, we utilize them for a lot of content buckets, just in terms of wanting to keep like the voice the same or certain like parameters. I don't know. I still end up doing a lot of my own like writing and scripting and
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm definitely trying to find that balance between how to use it in that instance. And that's probably where I use them the most. And so I don't know if I have enough. I probably need to learn from you more use case ideas that would help me, put custom GPTs to, I don't know, to better use.
You're in the right spot for it. You're in the right spot for it. So, well, I'm kind of similar to you, honestly. I don't really use custom GPTs like, as much as like I thought I would when they first came out. I was all over them, and then I kind of just started using projects and other things. But my love for them has kind of reignited here because of some of the new capabilities that they have. But we'll just walk through. If you don't know what a custom GPT is, they're basically custom versions of ChatGPT that combine instructions, extra knowledge, and any combination of skills, essentially. So we'll talk about a couple use cases later, but we have like a marketer GPT that knows everything about marketing in the industry for modelers and builders. You could have a sales follow-up GPT where you put in emails and it automatically tells you what to follow up and how and why. And that's without throwing in longer prompts every time. It's just trained on that, if that makes sense. So when you go to ChatGPT, the easiest way for you to find your custom GPTs is just to go onto your sidebar here. And if you click on Explore GPTs, it'll take you to the GPT store, which all of these are free. Funny enough, Spencer, when they first released custom GPTs, people thought like this is how they were going to make money with AI a couple of years ago, which is really funny.
Yeah, and it shows you it's hard to predict sometimes which path people will go. And yeah, I think with software, that's always the biggest challenge, is like how much is free and where do you draw the line on the paid stuff? Because at scale, it costs so little to add all these free GPTs and stuff, but then that makes the platform more valuable. So
exactly. Yeah. So when people were first coming out with these, I remember they were like, hey, get my pack of, access to 10 GPTs, because you can change the privacy of the link and all of that. So get my pack of 10 GPTs for $100 or something like that. And, as people just started getting better with AI, these are basically lead magnets now, Spencer. So essentially, if you go to a lot of sites here, we actually just had the Job Chat Connect, where Marcus Sheridan talked about his own AI tool, which is essentially a custom GPT, where you put in your website or your company name and it tells you your brand sentiment in AI and kind of grades you on AI stuff. So there is a paid version that he has for that, but essentially a lot of them are free. But if you go into the custom GPT store, you'll see tons of different GPTs that you can go in and test out. So this is a great place to start if you want to know some of the capabilities of these custom GPTs. We'll be making our own here. Funny enough too, Spencer, ever since we started doing these video episodes, I notice people know when I look over to the outline, but that's fine, right? I hope that's fine. I'm not very rehearsed now that you're seeing.
It's all good.
But what we're going to teach you is how to build one, right? So Spencer, if you were to guess how long it took to build one of these custom GPTs here, how long do you think it would take?
One of the ones in the store here?
Just
Or
let's do a calorie counting custom GPT. So I have a calorie counting custom GPT here. For when I go to a restaurant, if I'm trying to watch what I eat, I'm trying to watch my figure, Spencer. Trying
yeah,
to get
yeah,
my
that makes
portion control
sense.
down. If I go to a restaurant, they don't have calories, right? If I go to a local place, I have a custom GPT where if I take a picture of the menu, and it has the ingredients listed out, it'll give me a calorie range estimation based on I loaded it with data of tons of like food data from different chains and how to count calories and the rationale behind it. So I use that. So if I don't know the calories, something gives me a good estimate. How long do you think it takes to build something like that?
Hmm, uh, I'll guess maybe like 3 to 5 hours?
Spencer,
What?
3 to 5 minutes. That's what we're
No.
going to show. They don't take long to build at all. And I think that's the biggest biggest appeal of them. And I'm glad you said 3 to 5 hours, because if you said 60 seconds, I would have been like, all right, well, not that quick, but we'll take it. But so we're gonna build one together right now. That's what this episode is all gonna be about. So let's get into building one. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use one of those ideas that I said earlier. So we're gonna build a sales follow-up custom GPT that's gonna help us write personalized follow-up emails. It's gonna handle objections as well as adjust the tone based on the prospect that we're talking to. So to start building your custom GPT here, if you want to go, it's going to stay in your Explore GPT section. Top right here is Create. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click Create, and this is the custom GPT builder page here. So there's two ways to build this, Spencer. You can either do it manually, which is you're just filling in all these things, the different instructions, descriptions, all this stuff. Or you can actually just talk with ChatGPT directly and create it here. How I personally build these is I usually talk to ChatGPT, but I talk to it and it's a normal chat. So I'll talk to it in a normal chat. I'll build it out. It makes copy and paste things for me that I put in configured here. For some reason, this isn't as good to me for some reason. And
Interesting.
maybe it's changed, but right now, or at least when I last tested this, it just wasn't as good as just going into a normal chat and doing it myself. So here's what we have. Essentially, there's three core things you really want to look at here: is your description, your instructions, and your knowledge. So description is just really going to tell you and others who see this custom GPT what it does, what its purpose is. The instruction is the brain. That's the meat. These are the things where if I were to say my favorite color is purple and my name is Kai and I work at Builder Funnel, if I were to ask it, who am I? What's my favorite color? Where do I work? It would remember all of that without me telling it. So this is the brain. And then here you could fill it with outside knowledge as well. So something we won't show off in this episode, but a pro tip for people out there building custom GPTs is if you want to use deep research, or if you have SOPs, and Spencer, I know you have tons of probably like notes, videos, all of that knowledge here, you could upload it here. So now it's not only going to use, we go back to context layering that we talked about in a previous episode. Not only are you putting in manual instructions here, but also tons of files, context here as well. And that's where these custom GPTs get really powerful.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess one question that I have is,
Mhm.
what's the main delineation between the instructions and the knowledge? Like,
Yeah.
why would you say put like, oh, my favorite color is purple? Should that go in instructions or knowledge? Yeah.
That's a good point, actually, because I guess for that use case, that's probably something I could just upload in knowledge here. But essentially, you could think of instructions as like, it could be instructions and knowledge. It could be anything. Like sometimes with custom GPTs, I don't need to upload a lot of knowledge, right? I think of knowledge as honestly like anything that it can reference at a certain time, but not necessarily something it has to reference all the time. So for example, if we go back to our custom GPT that helps me count calories for menus on restaurant menus that don't have calories on them. I say, hey, here is what I want you to do. Here's how you should count it. Here's what you should reference in your knowledge. Here's what you should look up if you don't have that. But then within knowledge, as far as like uploading files, that's uploading all the food data. That's uploading. I think it was like what is it, USDA or something like that. It was something directly from the government that all chains have to post. Basically, I think the rule is if you have over like 5 locations or something, you have to have calories on your menu. So there's a huge data bank of all of that information in there. And so I uploaded that, and I also uploaded some other things in there. And so it knows what to do in the instructions, but it knows what to reference in the knowledge. And how it knows what to reference is from the instructions, if that makes sense.
Got it. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. The knowledge is more like database, and then the instructions is like actions and what are you trying to accomplish and kind of the outcomes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I will say it's probably like you could probably achieve almost everything just uploading a ton of files and knowledge if you want without giving it instructions and vice versa. Right. But they give you both options there. Here, and when I talk about, one of the big changes that helped me use custom GPTs more, you can actually pick the model that you can use in a custom GPT. So when we've gone over, you see all different models in here. Before, you can not choose the model. So when we talk about what the different models do, we know if we go over to looking at our different models here, we know for quick questions, things that don't really need a lot of thinking, instant is fine. That's perfect. That gets me what I want. But if I want to do a marketing plan, or I'm asking deeper questions, or I need it to reference things and have chain of thought, I'd probably want thinking, right? I need something that has a little bit more substance behind it. Before, they didn't let you choose the model. So you couldn't really make custom GPTs that needed to have deeper thinking. So great at like spell checkers, quick answers to things, quick social posts. But as far as like marketing plans, strategy, anything like that, any like long form writing you couldn't use it because it would usually just default to instant to save on usage and bandwidth.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be a game changer because yeah, if it's super limited if you only get the instant answers.
Exactly. So now they let you pick the model that they use, which is what made me use them again. So now you have a good run through of like what this looks like and what it is. So let's just start building it right now. So let's talk about what we want to do. So we want to do a sales follow-up GPT. So Spencer, the goal of this is that I can put in what a prospect sends me, and we'll just say I'm Kai Builders, right? I'm Kai Builders, and I really focus on bathroom remodels. So the goal is I have a custom GPT here where I can put in what a prospect has sent me and easily have a good follow-up email for it, whether that's handling an objection, moving to the next step, or really digging into like what questions they want answered. So what are some instructions here that we should put in? You talk and I'll just type.
Okay, so the let's plant this in the sales process as well. So is this like maybe after a first meeting and we're trying to sign a design agreement and I'm the prospect, you're the
Yes.
builder? Okay.
Yes, this is so. Let's imagine that they have passed my discovery call process, and now I'm trying to close them, right? And that's anywhere from like after that first call to wherever they are in that process. So the goal of the GPTs, I want it to be able to handle things where they're like one question away, all the way from I know they're a good fit. Now it's just going back and forth on like scope, what they should be doing. So a little broad, but I think
A
that
little
helps tighten
broad.
it up a
Okay.
bit.
Okay. So, and so you want some instructions on what this GPT should do in terms of following up in terms of emails. I would say it should be able to write emails that answer common remodeling questions, so FAQs. It should be able to answer questions about what to expect in the in-person meeting. It should have at least a general knowledge of projects and services that you offer at Kai Builders and general budget ranges, timelines, and service areas.
Love it. We could probably stop there for now as well. So,
Okay.
uh,
Do you
so
want
you are
like
my
style of email and some info
we'll,
like that or no?
yeah, we'll put that in, but I want
Okay.
to pause right here before we get to that next one. So you are my sales follow-up GPT. The goal for you is to answer questions about common remodeling FAQs, what to expect in my in-person meeting, have general knowledge of bathroom remodels, which is my specific service. And there was one last thing that you said there. Oh, as well as timelines and costs. Okay, sweet. So
And service
in a
areas, you want
normal,
that.
yeah, exactly. In a normal custom GPT here, we would fill this with PDFs of our knowledge, right? So if we had a cost guide, we would put that in the knowledge section. If we had docs built out of like our best practices and my process page, I would put that all in there. For right now, though, for this demonstration, I'll just put in some of those notes really quickly in the instructions, but just know for you watching and listening, for your version, you should already have all of this. So that's where you would upload that into the knowledge. So I think we could start there for now. So I'll say what to expect in my in-person meeting. I'll say it's concise, and we go over scope, budget, and next steps. And in our, well, what we'll show off here, probably Spencer, is we'll probably make up some stuff, but you all get the gist of what we're going for here. So I always get comments about my clicky keyboard, Spencer, in meetings. So I hope I'm not annoying too many people here, but I'm sure the videos, it makes it very beneficial. What else do we need to know here?
Yeah.
We'll give it web search capabilities, so it should be able to answer common remodeling FAQs. So I'll just say for any FAQs, Google them. Again, best practice here, use your internal resources, but go ahead, Spencer.
You could put typical bathrooms are $40,000 to $80,000.
So I'll say my costs are $40K to $80K, depending on scope. Sweet. And my projects take 3 to 6 months to complete. All right. Sweet. So I think that gives us like a very like basic look into like how to build this. And you'd probably fill this out with more instructions. When we get to the use cases here, I'll show you a really cool way to actually speed this all up even more and get this even better. But I always want to show how to do it manually first before we start bringing in some automation into it, as well as some other plays. But Spencer, is there anything else that we should put in here? I'll maybe put one note about like email style, but besides that, is there anything glaring that we're missing from our instructions?
I mean, we'd probably want service area. So if we want to keep it simple for this, you could just pick a city, but definitely you would want to put neighborhoods, zip codes, like all the very specific areas that you work.
Love it. We are going to say we serve, thinking about Glendale, Arizona.
There you go.
Awesome. Probably because I've been playing a lot of Madden recently, and I'm doing a Cardinals save.
Nice. Probably no snow down there either right now. So
absolutely not. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Almost a little chilly, honestly, for us. Around 61.
Yeah. Oh, but that's rough.
I know. Yeah. So I think this gives us a really good amount of information here to start with our custom GPT. So go ahead and close that. And you see here, it's all in here. So really quickly, an easy way if you're writing instructions manually is just to click this expand button so you can see what you're doing more. Otherwise, you got to type in this smaller text box here. Conversation starters are good. More so, we'll look at those when we get into our other use cases. But these are just things where like you can kind of show examples of like what it's best at. So for example, we'll add one. We'll say respond to this email, right? Like that could be a conversation starter. Basically, you click on these and it runs that prompt for you. They're almost like built-in prompts. Knowledge here, again, if we had knowledge, we would upload our process, more about our cost, who we are, who we serve. But I think it will help us too. Oh, also here, I will, for the model, this is a really good one as well. I will actually just leave this on no recommended model. And this lets users decide what model they want to pick. So if you're sharing this custom GPT, which is one of the biggest advantages of them, you can, when you're sharing these, you can basically say, hey, team, use this awesome sales follow-up GPT I made that's filled with our best practices. He'll handle all of our objections, which that's one note I forgot to add, so I'll add that real quick. And all of these things, and make sure, like, if you want to, for the best results, use this model. That's basically what you're saying here. And it'll say using the creator's recommended model, but they could change it to whatever they want. So we'll just use instant for now. And then last one, here's the capabilities. We do want it to be able to search the web, write in a canvas, which is basically a Google Doc and ChatGPT, and maybe image generation if we're trying to visualize something to a prospect. The last one here is actions. And I haven't played around with these too much, Spencer, but these essentially let you do some little API calls here, some cool stuff like that. To be honest, with how, I guess they're not super complicated, but with, like, they do take a little bit of extra work to set up. Most people just lean on doing something else. Like if you're going to go through the effort of doing this for a custom GPT, you might as well just start playing around with MCPs and things like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sweet. So the one thing we forgot here, you will also handle objections. Sweet. So I would say if we didn't have to talk through this, Spencer, and we've made one of these before, we could probably say that would take us 5 minutes, but I think just from going back and forth, probably more in like the 7 to 10 minute range here. For my instructions too, this is basically a description. So I'll just add a description here. And then we'll name our GPT Sales Follow-Up GPT. You can even generate a picture if you want. Most of the time it never works for me. So all of my custom GPTs just have the default cube on.
Should this be our sales follow-up intern? We had, who was it?
Oh,
Chad
yes,
last time?
Chad.
Yeah.
Sales follow-up intern.
But he's sales, so he's not Chad. I don't know. I
Well,
guess he could do everything, right? He's just our intern across the board.
we'll call him Chase.
Nice.
We'll call him Chase. We'll keep the
chasing leads down, you know?
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. This is why you're the CEO. All right. So this is a really important part too as well. So I talk about one of the biggest strengths of custom GPTs. They're very shareable. So you can either post this on the GPT store to let anybody in the world use. You can just use it to you, like only if you want to use it, and especially if you're filling this with a lot of internal knowledge, probably the best for privacy. But anyone with a link is usually what we opt for. This lets us share any of our custom GPTs with anybody on the team, but no, like people like anywhere in the world can't access our custom GPTs on the store. So go ahead and save this. And when this is done running, we'll be able to test our custom GPT. So we'll click View GPT. This is the share link right here. So you can copy that share link. And if you want access to any of the custom GPTs that we're going to look through and test out in this episode, leave a comment on the YouTube video or email me at kbiami@builderfunnel.com. Spencer, you know the deal. We'll say the email at the end, but kb as in boy, iami@builderfunnel.com. We'll be able to send those over to you. But here it is, Spencer. We've done it. We have made Chase our sales follow-up intern who is chasing down leads. So this is what it looks like. It essentially looks like a normal chat, but you can see here the description as well as the title of your custom GPT. If you go up to the top left here, you can change the model, and it will actually tell you what model the GPT creator recommends. So if you're looking at downloading GPTs from the GPT store, great way to know if you're using the correct model or not. So let's do this. So let's say I got an email from this prospect I just met with, and we'll say, "Hi, Kai, I like your pictures and process. I want to know what the cost will be for my bathroom and why. Also, I told you I live in Glendale. I moved to Vegas. More money from gambling." Awesome. So then I'll go, how should I respond? So if you were not using like a custom GPT here, probably would still ChatGPT just from its knowledge would probably give you a pretty good response to this. But now we know it has my cost in there. It has my timeline. It also knows how I like to respond to emails. And so we're going to get quicker to that like copy and paste answer almost. So let's see how Chase does here.
Come on, Chase.
Awesome. So gives me a subject, bathroom model, cost, and location. Hi, name. Thanks for the note. Glad the photos and process resonated. Here's a quick breakdown on the costs and why. Our bathroom models typically range from 40 to 80K. Correct. Pricing depends on, and this is where I kind of just made up some stuff. But also, here you go. Here's my timeline, 3 to 6 months from start to finish, which is great. We focus on high quality remodels, not service level updates, which is why costs are higher, but results last. Throwing in some little sales language in there. I see you, Chase. One important note here, we currently serve Glendale and surrounding areas. If the product is now in Las Vegas, it would be outside of our service area. If you still own a property in the Phoenix, Glendale area or have plans there, I'd be happy to walk through a more detailed estimate and next steps. Pretty great, honestly. A couple tests that we did here. One, we just wanted to make sure that it pulled the right cost, it pulled timeline, but I also wanted to make sure that it caught that the person moved. They're not in Glendale anymore, they're in Vegas. So it automatically saw that, hey, it's outside the service area, we need a flag. Awesome. So let's do one more here. And let's say this is a prospect that's close to closing, but really needs, has some questions that they need answers. So I'll say, hey, Kai, very close to making a, oh gosh, decision. I don't know. Oh,
You were
that one's a
close,
tough one for
Kai.
me.
Yeah.
That one's a tough one for me. All right. Very close to making a decision. I'm choosing between you, my nephew, who has no experience but has heart, do it for free, and a local handyman who will do it for cheaper than you will, but does not have a license. I thought I got that one right. I wanted just let you know where I was.
That's such a generous, nice prospect, letting you know where they're at in their
Yeah.
decision-making process.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. All right. So here's a calm comp. So did you notice I didn't have to say like make a response? It just knows to make the email. So made the email here. Appreciate the transparency. Great job. Great job, Chase. I appreciate you being upfront. That helps a lot. You're deciding between 3 different paths. Nephew, free, lowest cost, highest risk if something goes wrong. Unlicensed handyman, cheaper, some experience but no license, insurance, or protection. Us, licensed, insured. Manage remodel with defined process and accountability. Bathroom's one of the most complex rooms in the home. We talk about waterproofing, plumbing, electrical, inspections. Our clients usually choose us because they want it done once the right way, clear responsibility, as well as they value structured process, timeline, and long-term durability. No pressure at all. Just wanted to make sure you're comparing apples to apples, not just price. Great job, Chase. Way to really like hook them in there. Awesome. And then if you'd like, I'd happy to walk through what realistically go wrong in the bathroom model and how each option handles that. Pretty solid, right? So I think we get the gist of what this custom GPT is. So if you're watching or listening here, you know if you have this custom GPT and it's filled with your own internal knowledge, all of your best practices, all of your information, you could essentially just screenshot the emails that you have coming in, put it in here, and at least give you a good idea of how to respond. And also what it can help you with too is the more information, the more knowledge you load these up with, the more that it can pull from, where, you know, your brain, you can't remember everything at once, but AI, it tries. It can remember a ton, and so it can pull in a lot of things that you may have not thought about and give you some ideas on how to respond to a prospect.
Yeah, yeah, pretty good. And I mean, if you want objections handled a certain way, load that in the knowledge base, all that good
Yes,
stuff.
love it. Awesome. So I think that one pretty good. Let's check out some other custom GPTs that I made, and we'll talk about how I made those. So there's something called meta prompting, Spencer, and it sounds way cooler than it actually is, but it's called meta prompting. And what meta prompting is you're using AI to help you with your prompts. So I did exactly that for our custom GPTs here. So I said, I'm looking to create some custom GPTs to show off during our next podcast episode. Could you help me create some copy and paste custom GPTs based on what I send you? Here are my ideas. And then I had a ton of different ideas here, like Discovery Call Prep, an estimator, marketing content, job site communication, a bunch of custom GPTs here where I'm like, if these were available to every remodeler and builder in the industry, these are custom GPTs that they would have to use. Like these are just great custom GPTs to use. And you see, does a great job breaking these all down, and it gave us all of our copy and paste custom GPTs. So when we talk about, custom GPTs taking 5 minutes, these probably took me 30 seconds. These are pretty solid. With the caveat of, obviously, if I was a remodeler or builder, I'd fill this with more and more information. I feel like that's always going to be the caveat of everything that we show off. But you know that you have that. So if you just keep putting more information behind these, AI will be able to structure your custom GPTs very solid, and really work off the information that you give it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, already this, has way more detail than our first one we did manually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome. So let's start off with the Estimate Explainer GPT. So you are, and here I put the description there so we could easily see it. So you are Estimate Explainer GPT for remodeling contractors. Your job is to translate construction estimates into clear, plain English explanations homeowners understand and trust. So how we'll do this one, Spencer, is I'll just grab a random estimate from the internet here. So estimate remodeling example. And this kind of goes off with a sales follow-up GPT of like, if somebody doesn't understand something, or they'll be able to like talk. Like this is where this could be really fun if you want to send your estimate plus your custom GPT to your prospect, so that it almost makes your estimate interactive. And so it can ask, hey, why do they have this line item, or why do they do this, or what's the reason for this? All of those reasons could be basically helps them understand and learn behind the estimate, especially for higher scope projects as well. So I just found a random one here that we'll put in. We'll say, sending this to my prospect. They explain this to them like they're 5. And that's no dig on my prospect, Spencer, but explaining things like you're 5, everybody wants things that are really easily explainable. This is where I would use some thinking. Anytime that you're going to have your custom GPT analyzing images or files, thinking always helps. Instant could probably get it done, but I do like thinking here. And usually thinking doesn't take that long here. So you see I grabbed...
It's worth the extra few seconds, you know?
It's worth the extra few seconds here. You see I just grabbed an example here. So this is like if you want to look at it real quick. Yeah, it looks like it's a kitchen remodel here. We're going to demo and remove the old cabinets, install new cabinets, do some plumbing and electrical work, as well as flooring replacement here. Also give some terms and conditions as well. In reality, this is a pretty easy to follow estimate, but let's just assume that I still don't understand it. And so we see here, hi, Jane. Sure, or Jane. Oh, wait, Jane was probably in the example.
Jane Doe.
Hi, Jane. Here's,
yep.
Yes, Jane Doe. Here's what this kitchen remodel estimate means in plain English. So each line is one chunk of work with a price for that chunk. Think of it like a shopping list for your kitchen project. So that takes every line item here, and it clearly explains what each line item does. Does the math for Jane here as well. And the grown-up part's very interesting. I don't know if I'd send that part, but I do like the section overall. So the price is good for 30 days. Sometimes we find surprises. Final price can change only if scope changes or we uncover something unexpected. So I think this would be really cool if you not only sent your estimate to your prospects, but how cool and how professional and how tech forward would you look, Spencer, if you also sent them, hey, if you don't understand anything, feel free to ask our AI agent. And he'll be able to walk you through, he or she will be able to walk you through anything that you need to know about your estimate, any questions, and why we do things the way that we do, why it costs the way it does as well.
Very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So that's our Estimate Explainer Custom GPT. Pretty simple one here. Let's go with our Discovery Call Prep one. So this is our Discovery Call Prep GPT for Remodelers and Builders. Your job is to help contractors run better discovery calls. So prepare questions, identify red flags, and also offer clear summaries. So this is a 2-part custom GPT. We'll be showing off the prep part, but there's a second part of this where you can upload transcripts, and that's where we'll start identifying some possible red flags and also give you a clear summary of the call that you had. There's a lot of call tracking tools out there and summary tools out there, but it's nice to have it more interactive within a custom GPT. When we show off Notebook LM as well, that's probably our builder funnel favorite way to prep for calls and summarize calls, but a custom GPT is a very good second as well. So let's say, Spencer, I want you to create the story for this one. So what prospect are we prepping to meet with in our discovery call here?
Okay, let's see. A form just got filled out on your website, Kai, and they put in their name, email, phone number, and they put in the project they want to do. And let's go ahead and say that since it was a contact us form, we also, or a schedule a consultation form, they also put in the address where the project would take place. And
give me like in a notes section, Spencer. What did they put in their notes? Yeah, what did they put in their notes?
And then in the notes they said, we have 2 bathrooms in the home that we would like to remodel, and the home is a bit older, so we're looking to bring the style and the design into the modern day. We'd also love to have these projects done before summer, when we anticipate having family visitors. How's that?
Sweet. Awesome. That was, you added more story there than I thought. I love it. Awesome. So done before summer, where we anticipate family visiting. Sweet. So here, it already knows its job, Spencer. So we're going to play a little risky here. And I'm not even going to ask it to help me prep for this call. I'm just going to say, hey, form got filled out. Here's what they put in. Here's what they said in their notes. Let's see what it does. Again, I would do thinking here. Thinking's probably going to be your best. But for the sake of the example, because I love playing risky here, we are literally just going to do instant and see how it does. So we
We
put in
don't
all
have
that
time
information
right
here.
now. We don't have
We don't
time,
have time.
Chase.
I didn't even know that they scheduled this call and it's happening in 3 minutes. So we need instant here. So awesome. Got it. Based on what they submitted, here's a clean, ready to use Discovery Call Prep tailored to this lead. Gives me some nice little openings here. Thanks for reaching out. Confirm you're calling about 2 bathrooms at, and then we put in their address. You also want to set some expectations. So I'll ask a few questions to understand goals, timing, and fit. Then we'll talk next steps. Pretty solid so far. So here, in the discovery section, we're going to focus on those goals, scope, clarity, budget, reality, timeline, flexibility, and decision process. So really just getting to know them more and what they're expecting. We're also going to make sure that we're aligned. So we're going to look back at that 2 bathrooms and modern update and really confirm their priorities, right? Do they really want speed, quality, or budget, right? And that's a thing, right? Spencer, it's like you can't have all 3. You need to pick 2 out of the 3.
Yep. Yeah, my uncle always told me that early on. He's like, you can always have 2 of these, but you can't get them all.
Sweet. So that's a pretty good question to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, I would probably going back, it probably knows the date as well, but maybe making a tighter timeline to see if it would push for one of those over the other. But gives us some really good questions to ask. So what's driving the remodel right now? When the family visits before summer, what do you want these bathrooms to feel like compared to today? Is this more about aesthetics, functionality, or both? So tons of really good questions, right? How old is the home roughly? Any previous remodels, or is it mostly original? It even gives you here budget is okay, cool. Now we're getting the budget, but have you set a rough estimate range? Is that range based on what projects you've seen or just the initial number? Even a wide range helps me guide you accurately if you're getting some hesitancy or pushback. So gives a ton of good questions here, and also even gives us some follow-up probes. This is pretty solid. So if we want it done before summer, if scope or hidden conditions push timing, what's more important, being done by that date or doing it right? It's a good question. Would it help if I share typical ranges for older home bathroom models so you can react to them? We want modern now, or modern how? Clean and minimal, or warmer, modern with textured and contrast. So really, really solid. It keeps going here too. So it even shows some red flags as well, like must be done summer with no flexibility. So it gives you a response script to that. Budget mismatch, vague scope. So not saying you would use all of this, but this is a pretty solid prep, right? This pretty solid prep gives you tons of good questions to ask, and will at least help you not blank on that call, right? Or especially if you're like a newer salesperson, like we talk about our intern Chad, this might have been great to give Chad when he starts going on calls, right? And he starts taking some discovery calls. So when you fill this with your SOPs as well and your information, this just gets better and better, but this can help you give a pretty tight, quick script that's customizable for every discovery call or consultation coming in very quickly.
Yeah, what I like too, just knowing that this is a custom GPT, if you're already using a pre-qualification call script and you have a set of questions, like you can have that baked in, and then I could see this taking the form and going, oh, now I know this, I know this, I know this, I need to drill in a little deeper. And so, yeah, it just adds that layer of customization, maybe pre-fills in some questions that you already know based on the form. But yeah, I mean, if you had, to your point, if somebody had never run a call before, they could probably do this pretty well just from these notes.
Well, 1000%. And a quick note here, Spencer, too, is you can't do this with the custom GPTs we were to send you. So in addition to sending you the custom GPTs, I'll also send you what we call the guts. So we go here and click Edit GPT. I'll send you all of this stuff too, so you just copy and paste this and make your own. But this is how you would edit, and I'll go back to I went a little faster. This is how you would edit your custom GPT. So let's say our best practices have changed or we've added more information. The best thing here too is don't keep waiting and waiting and waiting until your docs are perfect, your knowledge is all aligned and everything. Just make the custom GPT, because you can always click, on this drop down here and click Edit GPT, and you can always add things later. Let's say it's, not doing it in the format that you want. You can look through your instructions and change the instructions. You could easily upload more knowledge files here as well. And you can also change the capabilities on it as well. So let's say you want it to stop searching the web because it searches the web when you don't want it to, and it's giving mismatched information. You can go ahead and turn that off. Awesome. We have one more we're going to do, Spencer, and I want to show off my marketing content GPT because
Let's
we're
do it.
marketers.
Let's see
That's
what
going
you
to be
got.
fun for us. So our marketing content GPT, you are a marketing content assistant for remodelers and builders. You create high converting on brand content that sounds like a contractor, not a generic marketer. This is pretty solid. So we're going to show off these conversation starters here. I talked about them earlier in the episode, but these are basically example prompts. And so I can put in some of these, and if I share this with somebody that's never used this GPT before, by reading the description and looking at the example prompts here, you have a pretty good idea of what the custom GPT can do. So we're going to do this one. We have a lot of high-end clients that come in. We're going to say, give me 10 hooks that attract higher budget clients. And you see here, I click it and it just does that there. And you see it gives me different hooks here. And these hooks are basically, we can use them for social, we could use them for ads. We also use them to help think of some content as well. So most remodels don't fail because of money, they fail because of bad planning. If your remodel quote feels vague, that's a real red flag. So these are honestly some good hooks for us, for our high-end audience. And then we decide what we want to do with these hooks. The great part too with this is we can now say, awesome, make this specific to Glendale, Arizona, and bathroom remodels. And the conversation starters are doing exactly what they're doing, right? So they're helping us start the conversation, and then we can always add on them after if we don't exactly know what we want to do, right? So now it says, okay, perfect. These are specifically for bathroom remodels in Glendale. So in Glendale, most bathroom remodel problems start before demolition ever begins. The difference between a $25,000 and a $45,000 bathroom in Glendale isn't tile, it's how it's built. So pretty solid hooks here. You can also do things like write a social post for us. So let's find a bathroom. I'm just going to pull up a random bathroom remodel picture here.
Nice. Make it
We're going to
count.
say, yes. So this is a recent bathroom model I did. I did write 3 social posts for it. Just write 3 social posts for it, right? For it, promoting the case study / project spotlight 4336 mention.
Boom.
Project spotlight.
Locked it in.
Yes, we got it in. For promoting the case study / project spotlight on my website. Utilize these hooks. Right? Okay. So now we're going to utilize the hooks that we just got. Here's the bathroom model if you're curious, right? We're going to utilize the hooks that we just did, and now we're going to put this and combine this with good captions here. So most bathroom models, problems start before the demo ever begins. This Glendale bathroom looks calm and simple now, but the real world work happened long before a single tile was set. Layout planning, waterproofing strategies, material selections that hold up, not just photograph well. We broke down the full process, decisions, and lessons learned in this product spotlight. Love it. It's giving me some different angles as well.
Premium stress. There. I like it.
Yeah. Premium stress reduction angle. Bathroom remodel should feel calm, not like a daily surprise. Cost reframe. The difference between a 25,000 45. I actually really like this hook, honestly. I would use some variation of this for sure when promoting a cost guide. You see here, this Glendale model focus on proper waterproofing, clean transitions and details, materials that make sense for daily use, no shortcut, no guesswork. We document the full process. Love this. And even ask me more questions here. So if I upload my brand voice, it could do even better. It could give me a real script if I wanted to do a quick talking head short form video. We can add a soft budget qualifier to pre-qualify leads, which is really interesting. We've been experimenting that with that, Spencer, right? We help remodelers in the $3 million to $12 million range with an X amount of marketing budget, right? We've been playing around with those hooks.
Mm-hmm.
And even changing up the language to match a different channel like Google Business Profile. So I'm sure the watchers and listeners get the point now. There is so much potential with these custom GPTs. We just made a ton of them really quickly. We made one really quickly, but I showed you how you can make a ton very quickly. And these are pretty solid, right? And this is without a huge missing piece, which is a lot of that personal knowledge-based information.
Yeah, and I think that that's been one of my takeaways throughout several of these episodes that we've done is kind of really putting a focus on building your internal knowledge base, and then if you already have a lot documented, being able to leverage it here, because it just seems like, oh, I want to build a custom GPT. I just watched Kai do this. This is super easy. It looks really powerful. And now I got to upload my knowledge. And if you don't have like PDFs and docs and all of this stuff, then you kind of got to start building it. And so yeah, I think it's exciting if you already have all that, but if you don't, that's okay. Like you'll be using this stuff for a long time.
Yeah, and a great place to start with building those SOPs and that knowledge base is just literally getting into ChatGPT right here, throwing on this and just talking through your SOPs and literally just sitting here for 10 minutes, walking through who you are, why you do it, what your price is, all of that good stuff. Anything you want ChatGPT to know about you, and it can put it all in. You can also even try doing this in like voice mode specifically, which takes away the text box entirely, and you're just going back and forth with ChatGPT. So I've said it multiple times, but voice is a great way to get started on your SOPs. Great way to get started on just finding a way to take all that information in your head and put it in here so you can utilize it, like Spencer said. So, in addition to what we also looked at too, if you're interested, again, as a reminder, if you want access to any of the GPTs that we showed off, and as well as like the guts inside of them and the brain and the instructions, email me, KB as in boy, IAMI at builderfunnel.com. Again, that's KBIAMI at builderfunnel.com. Or you leave a YouTube comment as well, and we'll reach out to you. But some other ones we didn't even go through, Spencer, is I had like a job site communication GPT where you could say, quick updates on like what happened at the job today and send out, it makes like emails for you and quick text, a hiring and SOP GPT, where that one honestly would be perfect because you just kind of brain dump and it can make SOPs for you. But also if you're like, I'm looking for a part-time social media person, do this, it makes the job posting for you, which is great. We know those can be long as well. And a remodeling marketing performance grader. So you could say, I'm not tracking much. Where do I start? Or here's my website. Can you grade it on a scale of 1 to 10 based on remodeler and builder best practices in the marketing landscape? So there's tons more GPTs in here that we didn't even go through that I would love to share with you all.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much you can do.
So much. Spencer, with that being said, what is your PWOW? If you know, your parting words of wisdom. If there is one thing that people should walk away after listening to this episode, what should it be?
Yeah, before I get to that, I mean, hopefully people are watching you go through this, Kai, are feeling like empowered to just jump in and, pick one use case, like the sales follow-up one or, whatever it is and just build one out. Because yeah, I think it'll save you a lot of time, but also if you are trying to train someone, it can really, these are tools that they now have access to and they can use. So yeah, hopefully this is making it feel really accessible and within reach. I think my PWOW for today was actually the meta prompting. And so watching you, build it manually the first time when we were going through it and then backtracking and going, oh, okay, let me actually just open up ChatGPT, say, I'm going to go build a custom GPT. This is what I want it to do. This is kind of how I want it to act. Build me the guts, I think, as you called it, but like, what do I put into instructions, knowledge, that sort of thing. So I think that was a super powerful tip. And that's how you can probably get to building the GPT in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. And obviously with refinement, it'll take a little bit longer to add all of your own knowledge and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was really, really powerful.
Yeah, I'd say my PWOW is the shareability of these custom GPTs. So I think one thing that can be hard, and especially as like a business owner, if you're listening, or you're one of the leaders in your marketing department at your company, is like usually like leaders and leads, like they move fast, right? We have ideas, we want to go, and it's hard to share that information very easily, and it's hard to kind of package it all up and get it in a way where people can easily use that. Custom GPTs are a great answer to that. So, for example, you're playing around with using ChatGPT to help build out captions and grade your marketing performance and create hiring and SOPs. You can easily share those custom GPTs with anybody at your company or anybody that you want, and they are basically starting not from scratch, but where you are. And that's much easier when you talk about getting people to use AI more and using it for like really good use cases that that they would love. You just need the extra push. Some GPTs kind of package that all up for them. So they don't need to worry about prompting. They just need to worry about using it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
So
I mean, the fact that you can just build all this and then share it with someone, it really, yeah, it can take somebody from 0 to 80, 90%, you know, in terms of like training or just answering questions. Yeah, it's so cool. It just, I think sometimes that piece, I think as a business owner can feel really overwhelming. Is like I have to hire someone, and usually that's like, oh man, this is going to take so much time to train this person. But I think using some of these tools and kind of what you've been talking about today, you can build those tools. It won't actually take that as long as it used to. And then those tools can be kind of that like, oh, you're not available and you've got this new person, instead of them just like sitting there twiddling their thumbs waiting until they can talk to you, they can get answers to questions, move the ball forward. Yeah, it's pretty exciting to think about.
exactly. I mean, we use custom GPTs a lot for our new hires and onboarding. It helps them get up to speed with our SOPs. It helps get up to speed with their team and their clients. So we use them all the time internally at Builder Funnel. And the shareability of those is a big reason why. So hope you really enjoyed this episode of AI Marketing for Remodelers and Builders. Give us a like on YouTube, a comment, reviews on Spotify. We're really trying to blow this podcast up this year. Tons of good stuff happening in AI, and we want to make sure every remodeler and builder knows how to utilize AI. They aren't scared of it, and we give some pretty cool use cases. And hopefully you enjoy our banter as well, Spencer. I feel like we make the episodes fun.
We will do our best going into this year. So
We do our best. But with that being said, we will catch y'all on the next one.